Hi everyone, and welcome back for part 3 of the series of studying 101 genetic conditions for the ABGC Boards Certification Exam together. My name is Nadia, and I am a 2025 genetic counseling graduate studying 101 diseases recommended by every gene. I've started with the disease category of cancer genetics, and I've made 2 videos so far, so go check out part 1 and 2 that outline Lynch syndrome and Birt-Hogg-Dubé syndrome. But today, or for this video, we are covering Li-Fraumeni syndrome. Li-Fraumeni is another autosomal dominant cancer predisposition syndrome that has high risk for childhood onset cancers as well as adult onset cancers. It's caused by mutations in the TP53 gene, and to be honest, I don't have a good association in my own head between Li-Fraumeni and TP53. I kind of just memorized it, so I'd love to hear in the comments if any of you have ways to memorize that TP53 is the gene for Li-Fraumeni. A helpful way to remember the 5 most common cancer types of Li-Fraumeni is to start at the top of your body and move down. So let's go through it together. First, start at your brain, which will remind you of the central nervous system tumors, like gliomas and medulloblastomas. Then move down a little bit to the chest, which will remind you of breast cancer, followed by your abdomen, which can remind you of the adrenocortical carcinoma risk. Then finally, move to your limbs, like your legs or your arms, which will remind you of the soft tissue sarcomas and the osteosarcomas. For individuals affected with Li-Fraumeni syndrome, men have an over 70% risk of being affected with cancer in their lifetime, and women have an over 90% lifetime risk of cancers. Women have a higher risk due to having breasts and ovaries. Because for those with Li-Fraumeni, there is a high risk for many childhood onset cancers, it's quite common to offer genetic testing in childhood to these individuals. Of course, just as I'm wrapping up, I think of a way to remember the TP53 gene for Li-Fraumeni. All you gotta do is remember that same analogy that I explained earlier to remember the 5 most common cancer types of Li-Fraumeni syndrome. Start at the top of your body, which reminded us of the central nervous system tumors, and top includes T and P. TP53, top of body. Does that make sense to anyone else? No. Hopefully this video helps you remember at least one more thing about Li-Fraumeni for the boards exam. Again, this is my 3rd time making a video. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to save this video for your study purposes and follow along for more tips and tricks. Bye!